Welcome back to Roots. In our first episode, we looked at the big picture, the reason so many patterns feel impossible to shift, no matter how much work you do on yourself. We introduced the regeneration tree, the 8 layers, and the central idea that a significant part of how you live your life was shaped before you were born by your family system, by the people who came before you, and by the energy they passed forward without ever intending to. If that landed for you, if something in you recognized what I was describing, then today is going to go even deeper. Because today we move up the tree, from the roots, the ancestors, to the trunk. And the trunk is your parents. Before we go into the trunk and parents section, I want to briefly talk about the law of belonging, the first systemic law, the principle that every person in a family has the right to belong unconditionally, regardless of what they did or didn't do. I want you to hold that as we talk about our parents, because for many women, this is where it gets complicated. Your mother, your father. Maybe you had a wonderful relationship with one or both of them. Maybe you didn't. Maybe there was love, but also harm. Maybe there was distance. Maybe there was a parent who simply wasn't there emotionally or physically, or both. Whatever your story is, I'm not asking you to pretend it was different. What I am asking you to consider is this. What happens inside you when you think about them? Is there peace? Or is there something tighter, some version of resentment, judgment, grief, distance, or a quiet belief that they simply weren't enough? Because that inner posture, whatever it is directly shaping your life right now, today. Let me show you how. In the regeneration method, the parents are the trunk of your tree. The roots go deeper, your ancestors, the lineage, the inherited energy. But all of that flows upward through the trunk before it reaches you. The trunk is the channel. It's the living connection between everything that came before and everything you are now. And here's what that means in practical terms. The relationship you have with your parents, not necessarily the external day-to-day relationship, but the inner relationship, the one that lives in your body, determines how freely life flows through you. When the trunk is healthy and connected, life moves, energy moves, things open. When the trunk is severed through judgment, through resentment, through the decision, conscious or not, to turn your back on them, the flow weakens. The branches feel it. The leaves feel it. The flower feels it. The fruit of your life, your health, your relationships, your sense of abundance, they all feel it. Not because you are being punished, but because you cannot receive what you've cut yourself off from. Bert Hellinger, one of the founders of systemic family work, said, "Success has the face of the mother." When I first heard this, I thought he meant career, achievement, external results. He meant something much more intimate than that. Your mother is the first relationship you ever had before you were born, before you had language or memory or any conscious understanding of the world. She was your entire world. She was warmth, or she wasn't. She was safety, or she wasn't. She was the first mirror you ever looked into to understand. Am I welcome here? Am I loved? Am I enough? And that first mirror, the one you looked into before you could even speak, shapes three of the most intimate dimensions of your life. The first is the relationship you have with your body. Your relationship with your mother lives in your body more than anywhere else. The way you inhabit yourself, whether you feel at home in your body or at war with it, whether you nourish it or neglect it, whether you trust it or override it. All of this traces back to the quality of that first physical bond. She was your first experience of being held, of being met, of existing in a body that was received or not received by another. When the inner relationship with the mother carries unresolved pain, rejection, distance, grief, judgment, women often feel it most clearly here, in their relationship with their own physical body, in chronic tension, in disconnection from physical sensations, in the way they treat themselves when no one is watching. The second is your relationship with your partner. Your mother was your first model of intimacy, of how love feels in a close relationship, of what you learn to expect from someone who is supposed to be there for you. The patterns you carry into your most intimate relationship today, the way you attach, the way you withdraw, the way you fight or go quiet or give too much. Many of these were shaped in that original bond. And the third is success, true success, not achievement, fulfillment. Your capacity to feel genuinely satisfied, to rest without guilt, to enjoy what you've built, to receive joy fully rather than always reaching for the next thing, to feel that life as it is right now is enough. That is what Hellinger meant. The mother is the source of your capacity to receive life. When that inner relationship is at peace, something opens. When it carries unresolved tension, even quietly, even in ways you'd never articulate, part of you is unconsciously resisting life at the very source. You don't need to have had a perfect mother for this to shift. You only need to find a new inner posture, one where some part of you can say, even imperfectly, you gave me life, and I choose to receive it. Your father opens a completely different dimension, where your mother shapes your most intimate, inward relationships with your body, with your partner, with your capacity for fulfillment. Your father shapes your relationships with the outer world, with other people, how safe you feel in groups, whether you can assert yourself with confidence or whether something contracts in you when you need to be seen, with authority, how you feel in the presence of people in power, bosses, institutions, systems, whether you can hold your ground or whether you shrink, rebel, or overcomply, with money, not just the practical management of it, but your felt sense of safety around it, your belief that abundance is available to you, your sense of permission to earn, to receive, to hold financial power without guilt or self-sabotage, and with abundance itself, in its broadest sense, the feeling that there is enough, that you are allowed to have enough, that the world is a place that will support you rather than one you must fight. When there is unresolved pain with your father, anger, fear, an old abandonment, a wound that was never spoken about, or simply a distance that was never bridged, it quietly closes these doors, not through any conscious decision, but because the energy that was meant to flow through that channel has a blockage in it. Many women come to me who cannot understand their relationship with money. They are capable, they work hard, they have every practical skill required, and something still doesn't move, or they find groups exhausting, authority figures triggering, the idea of being truly visible in the world too much. Often, the root is here, in the inner relationship with the Father. And when that relationship begins to shift, when you find an inner new posture, even the smallest degree of softening or acknowledgement, these outer things begin to move again, often in ways that feel almost inexplicable. I want to explain this as clearly as I can because I know it can feel counterintuitive, especially if your parents caused real pain. When we judge our parents, when we decide consciously or not that they don't belong, that they were too broken, too limited, too harmful to deserve a place in our heart, we are breaking the law of belonging at the most intimate level. And the consequence isn't punishment. The consequence is disconnection. Can a branch survive without the trunk? Can a flower bloom without the support of the wood beneath it? No. The biology of the tree doesn't care about the story. It only knows, is the connection intact or severed? The same is true in your system. This doesn't mean you have to stay in harmful relationships. It doesn't mean you have to repair what cannot be repaired externally. It means you stop severing yourself from the source in your inner world, because it is you who suffers when you do. Your parents did the best they could with what they had, the wounds, the limitations, the failures of love. This came through them from their own unhealed system. They received what was handed to them, just as it was handed to their parents before them. Understanding this is not about absolution. It's about your freedom. When you stop carrying the judgment, when you give your parents their rightful place in the system, even imperfectly, even just a little, something in you begins to receive again. Life flows again through the trunk, and you feel it. Now, I want to invite you into the part of this episode where the real work happens. Understanding what I've just shared, holding it in your mind, is a beginning. But insight alone doesn't change a nervous system. It doesn't reach the place where these patterns actually live. What does reach them is this. What we're going to do now is a guided inner exercise, a meditation I use with my private clients. It's going to take you into the inner relationship with your parents, gently, safely, at whatever depth your system is ready for right now. You don't need to have a resolved relationship with your parents to do this. You don't need to feel love yet, if it isn't there. You only need to be willing to be present. Find a comfortable position. Sit with your back straight. Let your hands rest open in your lap. Close your eyes when you're ready. And just follow my voice. I want to ask you a few questions that will help you see whether you welcome your parents with joy or whether somewhere inside you are rejecting them. Close your eyes and try to answer this honestly from the body, not the mind. Do I receive my parents with joy? Do I feel that they receive me with joy? Do I feel differently about one of them compared to the other? Is my body relaxed or tense when I visualize them? And if the life-giving force were to flow from them to me, how much of it would actually reach me? 5%? 20%? 50, 75, or 100%. The vital force flows freely to us from our parents. We never have to do anything to earn it. Our only task is to receive it. I want you to imagine this vital force as the main electrical cable supplying your home. Every wire branching off to every room depends on that main cable. It doesn't matter how well the rest of the house is wired. If the main connection to the main cable is compromised, everything is affected. This is why integrating your relationship with your parents is so important. We will continue working on this together, but the first step, if you haven't done it yet, is to write them letters. Write letters to your mother and your father separately. Write everything that you did not like, everything that hurt, everything that still causes you pain. Then, everything you learned from them, what you liked about them, what you are thankful for, what you are grateful for, what you have learned from your relationship with them. When you finish, burn the letter. Then write another one. Burn it again. Only by the third or fourth letter you will begin to notice a shift. That you are no longer writing from pain, but from a more positive or neutral place. If at some point you feel ready and it comes from a genuine place inside you, you may choose to send one of those letters, but it is not mandatory. When you are ready, open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Whatever you felt in the exercise, even if it was resistance, even if nothing seemed to shift, even if something unexpected came up, that's information. Your system is speaking, and the fact that you showed up for it matters. I want to leave you with this. You are not being asked to erase your story with your parents. You are not being asked to pretend the pain wasn't real. You are being asked to stop letting the disconnection live in your body because it's costing you more than you realize. Your fulfillment, your capacity to receive love, your relationship with money, your sense of permission to take up space and move forward in your life. All of it flows through the trunk, and the trunk is ready to carry more for you the moment you let it. I'll see you in episode 3, where we go into the second law that governs the systems, the law of order. What it means, how it shows up in your relationships without realizing it, and why honoring it changes everything. And we'll go deeper into the work with your parents, with a guided meditation to help you begin feeling this shift, not just understanding it. I'll see you there.